Welcome back for episode 6 of R2P Origins. In this episode, we're going to just kind of unpack year one. And I think when I think about year one, it's really a big SWOT analysis, right? What were the strengths? What were the weaknesses? Where were the opportunities that I realized? And then what were the threats for the future? So if I look at strengths, the idea in itself, the concept of rehab to reform was definitely something that had traction, right? It was sticky. People saw it, they liked it. People experienced it, they loved it. We quickly had brand ambassadors. Some of these people are still reaching out to me and our team. I've been very supportive, both through DMs, throughout some of these videos, because they remember what it was like in the beginning. But they remember how we made them feel, how the service of physical therapy was delivered in a different fashion, how the environment was, how engaged they felt, how at certain times it felt a little bit more like Cheers. Not to say you were at a bar, obviously, because we're giving people drinks during their time there, but they just enjoyed experiencing healthcare. It was something that they looked forward to coming to. Dr. Baker and I are pretty fun, but in all seriousness, it showed us through that first year that there was something that we needed to continue to explore and continue to share. If I get into the weaknesses of the year, I think definitely just not appreciating all of the things that go behind the scenes for a successful business. So bookkeeping, financial records, that being something that I had limited exposure through my other endeavor, Lax Factory, at the time. A full-scale day job, 9 to 5, W-2, salary, taxes, insurance, all of these different things that kind of went into the behind the scenes were things that I just did not have as much awareness as probably I should have. And I will say the big thing too, we had a good service, but we didn't have a clear-cut plan in terms of how to share it with people. So what I realized early on, this is where I'll give a shout out to Danny Farrar at Soldier Fit. But what I realized is we didn't really understand marketing. And something that stuck during my time where I reached out to him and I expressed to him, I don't know what I'm doing. I have something, but I don't know how to share it with people so that more people want to experience it. And he really just opened the playbook for me. And with marketing, you need to first start by thinking about market relationships. So what are the market relationships in your area? Who are key people? Who are stakeholders? Who are gatekeepers? And the relationships with those people being ways to almost unlock parts of society. And that really just stuck out for me. And those weaknesses eventually turned into areas that I attacked after year one. But if we looked then at the opportunities, we started to finally think that we would be able to have our own brick and mortar. It's not to devalue the experience and maybe being in a situation where you're more of a sublet business, but there's something to be said about having your own four walls in which you are controlling culture, which you're controlling optics, which you're controlling communication, and all of the things that, what I will say, make it feel more like a legitimate business operation. When I think of highly successful companies, I'm not thinking of companies that are necessarily subletting space all the time. So we finally started to see the opportunity to eventually have our own four walls and call a place home for rehab to perform. And I think the biggest thing for us was we were starting to get busier. So that threat piece, we were starting to get busier and recognizing that we were either going to need to find people to add to our team or potentially find people that were outsourced to support our team, but maybe not direct team members. And ideally, them being tremendously, that being a tremendously important hire or addition, and understanding that adding the wrong person, say going from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, could be catastrophic. So I think there was a great deal of pressure that I would say surrounded the possibilities that come with growth. But hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of this episode 6. I would say in general, this is a SWOT analysis of the year. There definitely were more things that went on, but when I think of that year in itself, just analyzing that, I'd say those are the big things that stuck out. It's crazy to think that here today we had our second annual company kickoff, and we had over 30 people at the company kickoff between students and our team, and just being able to really deep dive on things that I never thought possible during that first year. But thanks for tuning in today. I really, really appreciate it, and stay tuned for episode 7.